Hey everyone, this is Jennifer. I finally got done reading through all of the ethics assignments and have made thorough comments on almost all of them, and will be scanning those in at work tomorrow simply because my work scanner is much faster than my home scanner, and returning them to you with all of those comments. Now, as I indicated, each of you are going to be given full points for participating in that, because the main purpose of the ethics question was not only to know what you think about ethics, but also to get a good feel for your writing skills. And as I indicated in one of my earlier announcements in this course, the writing skills is of big concern to me. Probably because I've encountered over the past class I taught and in the past few years at work, too many people who have graduated from college with an inability to write well. And this, frankly, is somewhat appalling to me, because it means not so much I'm not necessarily holding the student accountable for it, but to me it means that instructors have not been doing justice to their students by making sure that they understand and know how to write well. So in general, a few comments. The tense of words needs to match in the same sentence. So you don't say, I am going to, I can't even think of an example now. But anyway, I went to doing something. That's a good example, because you don't went to doing something. Doing is in the current. So you want to say, I went to do something, because then do is in the past. So that's very important, that you make sure that the tense of words are matching. Also, plurality. You don't want to say, this pillows is in my hand, because it's not this pillows, it's these pillows, and then these pillows are in my hand, even though I'm actually only holding one pillow. So, but that's an example of the indication that you need to make the plurality of words match when you're using them. Also, some of you use superlatives, which I said it's just not a good idea. You don't want to say things always are a certain way, or every day something happens, because you know, apart from saying every day the sun rises, when you're talking about these professional sorts of situations, it's not necessarily something that does happen every day, and so you just want to say most days, or you want to leave that room for those few situations where it may not and possibly does not occur. Also, writing skills in general, very important. Not just the grammatical things that I just talked about, but you also want to be very clear on what you're saying. Some of you have very good, actually, grammatical skills, but then the paper was kind of a collection of rambling thoughts that would shoot from one location to another. So whenever you're saying something in a professional context, you want to do it as concisely as possible, and generally this is the format that it should follow, and hopefully you've got a class on this. If not, you need to go take one. But you should always start with an introduction. Hey, this is what I'm gonna say. And then very clear, and here's, you know, the outline, brief outline of your paper, and then your first paragraph after your introduction should very clearly go into, here's what I'm saying. And then you need to say, here's why I'm saying it. You need to have some supporting analysis for what you're saying. And then there needs to be a rebuttal for people who might say something differently or who might disagree with you. And then finally, a conclusion. So that's how you develop this. You say, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I am very clearly saying. Here's my support. Usually you should have at least three supporting arguments for what you're saying, a rebuttal for people who might disagree, and then a conclusion. So very important that you follow that, and then you want to do that as concisely as possible. I know that I can be very florid in my writing and in my speaking, but when I'm saying something professionally at work, or even in a course situation, it's very important to try and make it concise. I know that for me, that's probably my hardest thing, is making my writing concise. But that's something that you really want to get a skill that you would like to get honed. So overall, those are my comments on your writing. I'm not going to focus in too much on the writing quality. I will, of course, be grading you on it, as I've indicated in the rubrics, but I'm not going to be giving you a whole lot of feedback on it because I realized as I was having a mental block and spending so much time making all of these comments that I can't really accomplish teaching you about procurement and making sure that every single one of you has excellent writing skills in the same 10-week period. So if you don't have the great writing skills, if you see a lot of comments on the paper that I send back to you, please don't get offended, and you don't necessarily have to agree with every correction that I made. But on the other hand, if you see a lot of comments, it might serve you well to head over to the University Writing Center and spend some time trying to hone up those writing skills, because it's something that will really serve you well throughout the rest of your life. Being able to write something clearly and have people understand what you're saying is very critical skill, and it certainly is a very critical skill in the procurement profession. So overall, that's my comments on the writing.